Good day, everyone. So, today I am going to report about data analysis. By the way, I'm Maria Thalia Samonte. And yes, let's go ahead and proceed to the content. So, for today's content, we're going to discuss first what is data analysis in research, and that includes why analyze data in research and types of data in research. Second, data analysis in qualitative research. That also includes finding patterns in the qualitative data and methods used for data analysis in qualitative research. Third, data analysis in quantitative research. That also includes preparing data for analysis and the methods used for data analysis in quantitative research. And lastly, considerations in research data analysis. So first, let's talk about data analysis. Let's define its meaning. So data analysis refers to the process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information, drawing conclusions, and supporting decision making. That also involves applying various statistical and computational techniques to interpret and derive insights from large data sets. The ultimate aim also of data analysis is to convert raw data into actionable insights that can inform business decisions, scientific research, and other endeavors. Why analyze data in research? Researchers rely heavily on data as they have a story to tell or research problems to solve, just like us. It starts with a question, and data is nothing but an answer to that question. So, one of the essential things expected from researchers while analyzing data is to stay open and remain unbiased towards unexpected patterns, expressions, and results. So, no matter what our hypothesis or own theory about our study or research, of course, we should be open minded with what will be the outcome of our research. So we have here types of data in research. So we are very familiar already with qualitative data and quantitative data. We also have here categorical data. So we are going to discuss on that more for the next slides. So we have here qualitative data. For qualitative data, when the data presented has words and descriptions, then we call it qualitative data. Although you can observe this data, it is subjective and harder to analyze data in research, especially for comparison. So, for example, I have here an example. Quality data represents everything, describing taste, experience, texture, or an opinion that is considered quality data. So, this type of data is usually collected through focus groups, personal qualitative interviews, qualitative observation, or using open ended questions in surveys. So, those are some surveys. And we have also here quantitative data. So, for quantitative data, any data expressed in numbers of numerical figures are called quantitative data. So, this type of data can be distinguished into categories, grouped, measured, calculated, or ranked. So, I have also an example here. Questions such as age, rank, cost, length, weight, scores, etc. Everything comes under this type of data. So you can present such data in graphical format, charts, or apply statistical analysis methods to this data. So the outcomes measurement systems or OMS questionnaires in surveys are a significant source of collecting numeric data. So I know some of you are already familiar with the different types of statistical analysis methods, especially if you're already taking statistics subject or the advanced inferential statistics. So yes, we have here also categorical data. So this data are presented in groups. However, an item included in the categorical data cannot belong to more than one group. For example, A person responding to a survey by telling his living style, marital status, smoking habit, or drinking habit comes under the categorical data. A chi-square test is a standard method used to analyze this data. So you have different types of tests, like chi test, the F test, and the T tests, and a lot more. Next, we have here data analysis in qualitative research. So, getting insights from such complicated information is a complicated process. Hence, it is typically used for exploratory research and data analysis. So, we have here data analysis and qualitative data research work a little differently from the numerical data, as the quality data is made up of words, descriptions, images, objects, and sometimes symbols. So here we have finding patterns in the qualitative data. So before that, yes, with the data analysis and qualitative data research, the researchers here usually read available data and find repetitive or commonly used words. So, for example, while studying data collected from African countries to understand the most pressing issues people face, so researchers might find food and hunger are the most commonly used words and will highlight them for further analysis. Next, we have here methods used for data analysis in qualitative research. So there are several techniques to analyze the data in qualitative research, but here are some commonly used methods. So content analysis, narrative analysis, discourse analysis, and grounded theory. So here for content analysis, it is widely accepted and the most frequently employed technique for data analysis in research methodology. It can be used also to analyze the documented information from text, images, and sometimes from the physical items. So here, it depends on the research questions to predict when and where to use this method. Then second, we have narrative analysis. This method is used to analyze content gathered from various sources, such as personal interviews, field observation, and surveys. So, here, the majority of times, stories or opinions shared by people are focused on finding answers to the research questions. So, might be magamit ang pagkamarites anino. So, that is an example for narrative analysis. Now, we have here also slide number 22, discourse analysis. So, for the third one, in the discourse analysis, similar to narrative analysis, discourse analysis is used to analyze the interactions with people. Nevertheless, this particular method considers the social context under which or within which the communication between the researcher and respondent takes place. So, for that one, in addition to that, discourse analysis also focuses on the lifestyle and the day to day environment while deriving any conclusions. So, you are very observant when it comes to using discourse analysis. Next, we have here a grounded theory. When you want to explain why a particular phenomenon happened, then using grounded theory for analyzing quality data is the best resort. Grounded theory is applied to study data about the host of similar cases occurring in different settings. So, here, when researchers are using this method, they might alter explanations or produce new ones until they arrive at some conclusions. So that was it. Now let's go ahead and proceed to data analysis in quantitative research. So we have here, earlier we are done with the qualitative research. Now let's talk about quantitative research. So the first stage in research and data analysis is to make it for the analysis so that the nominal data can be converted into something meaningful. So data preparation consists of the below phrases. So we have here preparing data for analysis. First phase, data validation. Second, data editing. And then you have their third one, the data coding. Let's talk first about data validation. So data validation, this is done to understand if the collected data sample is per the preset standards or it is a biased data sample again divided into four different stages. So you have their fraud to ensure here an actual records each response. So that is the first stage, fraud. Second, you have their screening to make sure each participant or respondent is selected or chosen in compliance with the research. Procedure to ensure ethical standards, and completeness to ensure that the respondent has answered all the questions in an online survey. So those are also the different stages, the four different stages for data validation. So you have to take note also on that. Next, you have also phase two, data editing. So for data editing, this is a process wherein the researchers have to confirm that the provided data is free of such errors. They need to conduct necessary checks and outlier checks to edit the raw edit and make it ready for analysis. Next, we have here phase three, data coding. So for data coding out of all three, this is the most critical phase of data preparation, associated with grouping and assigning values to the survey responses. So if a survey is completed within 1,000 sample size, the researcher will create an age bracket to distinguish the respondents based on their age. So thus it becomes easier to analyze small data buckets rather than deal with the massive data pile, right? So of course, that is really true. Next, we also have here methods used for data analysis in quantitative research. So, for sure, statistical analysis plans are the most favored to analyze numerical data, but then again, there are really different types of how to analyze numerical data. So, after the data is prepared for analysis, researchers are open to using different research and data analysis methods to derive meaningful insights. In statistical analysis, distinguishing between categorical data and numerical data is essential also. So, as categorical data involves distinct categories or labels, while numerical data consists of measurable quantities. So next we have here, oh, by the way, the method is again classified into two groups, the descriptive and inferential statistics. So descriptive, the word itself to describe data, while inferential is comparing the data. So that's the time that you're going to use really the different types of tests, the chi-test, the t-test, f-test, and a lot more. So you're really familiar with this one if you were taking already the advanced inferential statistics from Sir Lorejo or Dr. Hala. So now let's go ahead and proceed to descriptive statistics. So for descriptive statistics here, we have measures of frequency. The count percent frequency, it is used to denote how often a particular event occurs. So researchers use it when they want to showcase how often a response is given. You also have here second the measures of central tendency. I know you're all familiar with this. We keep on hearing this one, the mean, median, and mode during our college years. I believe we are still using this one, especially for teachers. So the method is widely used to demonstrate distribution by various points. And researchers use this method when they want to showcase the most commonly or averagely indicated response. Third, measures of dispersion or variation. The range, variance, standard deviation. So here the field equals higher low points. Then you have also the variance, SD or standard deviation. You have the difference between the observed score and the mean. Then it is also used to identify the spread of scores here by stating intervals. And the researchers also use this method to showcase data spread out. It helps them identify the depth until which the data is spread out that it directly affects the mean. So I know this is actually a lot. So yes, we will gonna be familiar with this if you're already taking like statistics subject. So next we have here, descriptive statistics include also measures of position. For measures of position, you have percentile ranks, quartile ranks. It relies also on standardized scores, helping researchers to identify the relationship between different scores. It is often used when researchers want to compare scores with the average count. For example, the mean is the best way to demonstrate the students' average scores in schools. So it is better to rely on the descriptive statistics when the researchers intend to keep the research or outcome limited to the provided sample without generalizing it. So that those were actually about descriptive statistics. Now for inferential statistics, used to make predictions about a larger population after research and data analysis of the representing population collected sample. So here are two significant areas on inferential statistics. So you have estimating parameters. Then these are the sample research data. So that really takes statistical computations, numerical data, and just demonstrate something about the population parameter. Then you also have hypothesis test. It's about sampling research data to answer the survey research questions. Here are some of the commonly used methods for data analysis: correlation, cross tabulation, regression analysis, fourth, frequency tables, fifth is analysis of variance. So, first, you have correlation. For correlation, when researchers are not conducting experimental research or quasi experimental research, wherein the researchers are interested to understand the relationship between two or more variables. So, I believe it's really important because now we are using here two or more independent variables in our research. So they opt for correlational research method. Second, we have cross tabulation. Also called contingency tables, cross tabulation is used to analyze the relationship between multiple variables. Third, regression analysis. So, for understanding the strong relationship between two variables, researchers do not look beyond the primary and commonly used regression analysis method, which is also a type of predictive analysis use. So, in this method, you have an essential factor called the dependent variable. You also have multiple independent variables in regression analysis. So, this is really applicable to research because we have multiple independent variables. Fourth, frequency tables. The statistical procedure is used for testing the degree to which two or more vary or differ in an experiment. A considerable degree of variation means research findings were significant. Lastly, we have analysis of variance. The statistical procedure is used for testing the degree to which two or more vary or differ in an experiment. A considerable degree of variation means research findings were significant. So here are the considerations in research data analysis. Researchers must have the necessary research skills to analyze and manipulation the data. Getting trained to demonstrate a high standard of research practice, but I believe we will get used to it, especially if we're like we couldn't remember already, or like we're having a hard time really to create from chapter one or the rationale. But I think it's also important to really seek help from the experts or from professionals like our professors. Next, you also have the primary aim of data research and analysis is to derive ultimate insights that are unbiased. Then, the motive for this one, as far as possible, we are going to really avoid statistical errors. Find a way to deal with everyday challenges like outliers, missing data, the data altering, data mining, or developing graphical representations. So that was it, and here are my references for my topic. And thank you so much again, everyone, for listening and have a great day ahead. God bless everyone.